Welcome back. Trump derangement syndrome out of control. Here's the latest from Hollywood celebrities.
To the extent that Trump pursues racist,
sexist, anti-immigrant,
anti-worker, anti-Muslim, anti-Semitic, anti-environmental policies,
we demand that you vigorously oppose him.
We demand that you block nominees who threaten the rights of women,
the LGBT community, people of color, immigrants, and the poor.
And we want you to know that we are with you.
As long as you do that stuff, we won't remain silent.
We won't remain silent.
We won't remain silent.
We'll work harder to mobilize our votes
and our communities.
But we need you.
And we expect you to have our backs.
Not to be outdone, more radical talk on the O'Reilly factor the other night.
When we talk about fascism, we're not talking about just an isolated individual who's president. We're talking about a strong man with narcissistic personality, tied to big business, tied to big military, possibility of war, and slices of big media, because we know money itself plays a fundamental role in corporate media that allows him to too often get away with
why
not
don't
enough
you?
accountability.
All right, people gave Hitler a chance, and we saw what that meant for humanity. And with Donald Trump, look at what we're talking about: Muslim registry, wall on the border with Mexico, law and order, which is code word for unleashing harsher repression against Black and Latino people.
Rosie O'Donnell joining the party on Twitter saying, quote, Donald Trump is mentally unstable. Less than 3 weeks to stop him, America, whatever that means. And Michael Moore hinting at impeachment a few days after the election.
Remember, the Republicans were ready to start the impeachment hearings on day one against Hillary Clinton.
Right.
All right. The other side needs to be ready to roll right now to do whatever needs to be done to stop his appointments to the Supreme Court.
Is that right, though, to do that?
Absolutely. You have to do it.
And here's someone who's not just hinting at impeachment, he's gunning for it. Professor Robert Kuttner suggested in a Huffington Post article that Donald Trump is wildly unfit to be president, and he will demonstrate that in ways that break the law and violate the Constitution. There is only one constitutional way to remove a president, and that is via impeachment. We invited Mr. Kuttner on the program. At first he agreed, then he changed his mind and said, quote, Fox is an absolutely scurrilous operation, and I don't want to lend it credibility. Don't worry, we do not need any from you. So we asked a different Huffington Post writer to join us. With me is Huffington Post political commentator Alex Mohajer and host of Your Voice Radio, Bill Mitchell. So Alex, I'm going to begin with you here. This can't be good for the Democratic Party brand. First, it was the recount, then the rioting, then the death threats against electors, now the Russian stuff. Now we're getting all this talk about impeachment. You can't really think that impeachment at this point is a good idea, can you?
Well, I can't speak to the Democratic Party's brand, but what I can say is that Donald Trump will be in violation of the Emoluments Clause on day one of his inauguration, and that there is a vested interest in making sure that the executive branch of government is following the laws set forth by the
What clause are you speaking about specifically, Alex?
Well, the Emoluments Clause is found in the United States Constitution. It speaks to, foreign governments and their being able to have curried favor with the federal government. And
you mean like kind of how the Saudis and all those other regimes in the Middle East were donating tens of millions of dollars to the Clinton Foundation?
So the Clinton Foundation is not the federal government, and
well, it was going through the State Department. That's why she was under investigation.
Can I speak?
Sure, go ahead.
Can I speak, Mr. Waters? Sure. Yeah. So Hillary Clinton was divested from the Clinton Foundation at the time that she was Secretary of State. And if you want to get into an argument about that, the Clintons both said that they would divest from the Clinton Foundation totally and step down from refused
Okay, and now the Trump team has said that Donald Trump is going to divest from all of his holdings, and he's going to let the family run. Mitchell, let me get you in here for a second. Excuse me, Alex.
He has failed to release his tax returns.
Okay,
so
yeah.
We don't know what he's doing.
Keep waiting.
And he won't be forthcoming.
I don't think those are going to happen.
I'm not holding my breath.
Okay, good. Please. Mitchell, let me ask you a question here. The Democratic Party, I think personally, does the Republican Party a service when you have these radical left-wing celebrities trotting out these ridiculous conspiracy theories and these veiled threats. I say let these guys roll, because the more they talk, the more it looks, Donald Trump makes him look more presidential and more mainstream. Do you agree?
I agree completely. A new poll just came out saying that 73% of voters, including 57% of Democrats, want Donald Trump to succeed as president. This whole impeachment thing is just another all hat, no cattle from the Democrats, because I asked them, what is your end game? Because you cannot possibly think that impeachment against Donald Trump will work. You need a simple majority in the House. You need 2/3 in the Senate to impeach a president. We control all those.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it's impossible.
Where's
so
impeachment coming from,
if you can't
Alex?
get there?
How are you guys going to impeach? You got to take the House first.
For the
right?
record, for the record, I am not calling for Donald Trump to be impeached. I am calling for Donald Trump to follow the laws and to live up to the standard that we have set and that we expect the executive branch to live up to. That's what I'm calling for. If Donald Trump wants to divest from his foreign entities and he wants to be forthcoming with the American people about where he has investments, then I am ready to stand up on day one and say this is the president, and we will stand behind him.
Alex,
but
let
he's
me
not
ask you a
doing
quick
that,
question.
and it's problematic. It's very problematic. It should be problematic to all Americans. It's not radicalism. It's just the facts.
Okay, one question. Do you wish President Trump success, or do you want him to fail? Yes or no?
Absolutely wish him success. Yes, I do.
Okay.
If he becomes president and he's willing to do the right thing, then yes. As it stands now, I am disquieted, and I think that all Americans should be disquieted.
Well, we don't want you to be disquieted, Alex. That's the last thing we want you to do. Bill Mitchell, let me get you in here. I mean, I don't actually think any of these crazy harebrained schemes are going to work. Eventually, the Democrats are going to have to wake up politically and start working with President Trump on a number of things like infrastructure or trade, or else they're going to be left out in the cold, and that Rust Belt's gone forever.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's working in Trump's advantage right now is the 2018 looms. Okay, and you have a lot of Democrats in red states that are going to be in serious trouble. So what you'll see as we go forward is you'll have establishment types that might have resisted Trump otherwise, but that will back Trump because they don't want to be primaried in 2018. And you'll have Democrats in red states that will cross the aisle and work with Trump because they don't want to lose their seats in 2018. If the Democrats keep on with this obstructionist tack that they're taking, we're going to be looking at a supermajority after 2018.
Okay,
so
and if there's going to be a supermajority, Alex is going to be very disquieted, and we do not want that. Guys, thank you very much.
Yes.
Coming up,
this is Rich from
the far left blames Donald Trump for the horrific black-on-white hate crime in Chicago. We'll play the tape. And later, remember when Ivanka Trump and her children were screamed at on a flight by a far-left kook? We found them. Stay with us.